Hey y'all, so it is the same day that I did my other video. It's right after it, but I mean, like, I was already dressed, and it's like once a week that I put on clothes. The only reason I'm dressed today is because baby girl had a doctor's appointment. Okay, let's talk about this labor. Basically, I said yes to the residents, and then they admitted me into the hospital. Um, we changed rooms because I couldn't really walk for some reason. I don't know why. Like, I could walk, but like I didn't want to because the room was like down the hall around the corner, and I was like, I'm having contractions every 2 minutes. So I'm like, in order to avoid us taking 30 minutes to go to the room around the corner, I'll just get in a wheelchair. So they took us to the other room, and it was a big ass room. They took us there, and then they were like, what did they? Oh, wait, I left out a part. So, I had a birthing plan. This is going to make me so emotional. I had a birthing plan that I wanted to strictly go by, like, for real, for real. Like, I was like non-negotiable unless it's like life or death. But like, I feel like I was taking advantage of both of us, my husband and myself, because like it's our first baby. We didn't know much about like different things. So I felt like I was taken advantage of because of the stuff they told me. So basically they were like, well, actually they literally said um that every contraction the baby is in distress, and like the baby doesn't get enough oxygen. And I'm like, but I've been having these contractions since 2 days ago, and I just started feeling them, and they're not even that bad. Like it was literally like it was weaker than my period pains. The only difference was that the period pain kind of like sailed them out and then stay, and I could take medication for it. But the contractions, they would like mellow out, and then I'd be fine, and then it'll come back, and that's the thing that was bothering me. It'll just come back, but it was like, 'cause my period pains are, I can get to the point where I'm gonna pass out when I have my periods, but like it wasn't even that bad. Like it was not like I was forced in the munis by then, and it wasn't even that bad. But they said I couldn't go home, and like right after I said yes to the residents, that's when they told us this. And then they were like, they don't recommend me going home to walk her down because it could it could bring risk to the baby. So that's why I stay. And they were like, she's still sunny side up, so we're gonna have to go in and turn her. And they also said we're gonna have to speed up your like we're gonna have to speed up your labor. We're gonna have to speed up. I think it was called pitocin. It said they had to give me pitocin to speed up the labor, and they were gonna have to go inside and turn her around. So me being scared, I was like, well, is it gonna hurt? And they were like, yeah, it's gonna be very excruciating. Like, who the fuck says that? So they were like, there are some things you can get. The first thing they said, epidural. I was like, bro, I said specifically I don't want epidural. I don't. And then they pitched it to where, so I'm like trying to get clarity. Like, I don't want to blame my husband because he didn't know. So I'm asking, like, what should I do? He was like, oh, it's up to you. It's your body. I'm like, yeah, I get that, dude. But, like, tell them we need to talk about it so we could talk about it. But, like, I felt pressured into making decisions that I know I didn't want to make. because they said it could fatally affect my child. So since they said that, and they said they have to do all this, go in, they have to break my water themselves. Like my water can't break on itself. They have to break it. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna think about it. Give me a minute. So that's when we go to the different room. And then what happens? Cause they kept messing up. Like when they tried to check the service, couldn't reach it. I don't want to make this a race thing, but the black head nurse came in and she got to it perfectly. Like she just said, "Don't tense up. Do it." She told me to put my hands behind my back or something, like under the lower back, and she was able to get to it. So fast forwarding, we're in the room, whatever, and they were like, "So are you gonna take the epidural?" And I was like, I'm still thinking. Give me a minute." Then she was like, "Well, we're gonna go ahead and do the pitocin." And I'm like, "Bro, like, what the fuck?" So the black nurse came in and she like, cause at that point I was annoyed because the black nurse, like, no other people was annoying me. So the black nurse came in and she was like, "Are you tired?" I was like, "Yes, I'm tired. I didn't go to sleep last night. I need to go to sleep." And she was like, basically she was like, "Well, if you want to go to sleep, you might want to get the epidural just so you can go to sleep. Because if not, you're gonna be up all day and in pain." Because they said, the other people said they gotta do, like the doctor said they gotta do all this stuff. So when she said it, I was like, okay, I'll get the epidural. So the doctors came in, the doctors and the resident came in, and they were finna give me the pitocin. So I was like, hold up. Now the pitocin speeds up the contractions. Why y'all trying to give me the pitocin before the epidural? If it's going to be excruciating pain, like y'all said. Because at that point, I was like 5 centimeters, bro. Literally could have kept going. I probably would have kept going till it was too late to get epidural. But I could have kept going. Like, I was not at my maximum pain tolerance. But they wanted to give me the pitocin, which I should have said no. But they said that my baby could die. Well, they didn't say she could die. I'm not gonna say that. They said she was in distress every time I would get a contraction because she wasn't getting oxygen. Which I think it was just because I was like when I got a contraction. That's literally probably what the situation was. But nevermore. So she's like, "Oh yeah, sure, you get that epidural. Yeah, we'll go get it right now. We'll go get that." I'm like, bro, like what? Like you so giddy and happy and shit because I said yes to the epidural. So we wait a couple hours. I'm still laying there getting contractions every 2 minutes. They said I was like 4 or 5 centimeters. The epidural people came in there. The resident and the, what is the person over the resident? I know the term because I watch Grey's Anatomy. The resident and something else. Damn, I can't think of it. Not the chief, but the one under the chief. Like, yes, I don't know. I can't think right now. Oh my god. What was Derek Shepherd when Meredith first got to the hospital? Oh my god. Not the lead, not the chief. Oh my god. It's gonna come to me later. But anyway, it was that person and then the resident. And the person over the resident and then the resident. So the resident was doing the examination on my back or whatever. Bro, tell me why. Like, I told these motherfuckers I got scoliosis, right? Tell me why dude is on my back pushing hard as fuck against one of my goddamn vertebrae. I'm like, ow. Like, it hurt. Like, I'm like, ow. Ow. Like, I kept saying, ow. Ow. Like, and he kept doing like, this is a good one. Attending. Okay. So the attending comes over and he checks the same vertebrae. No pain at all. I felt absolutely nothing. But he was on the same spot. He was like, yeah, that's a good one. So the resident came back doing his little hard ass shit, right? So they start, he gives me the shot in my back. Mind you, I'm not having I'm having contractions, but I'm not feeling it. So I shouldn't have got the epidural. I'm so mad that I did. But he was putting the thing, whatever the fuck it was, in. And I remember I specifically told him I got scoliosis, right? So this motherfucker literally gets a straight thing and goes up in my goddamn back and hits a nerve. I said, ow! And he stops and he looks at the attending, and then the attending looks at him, and the attending says, oh, that may be a nerve something, I don't fucking know. Then this dumb ass, I'm sorry, but I'm not a doctor, but I know you don't ask this dumb ass question that he asked. He was like, the resident was like, can we just leave it in there? I look at my husband because he's in front of me and I'm like, he's holding me or whatever, and I'm like, because I couldn't fathom that a doctor would ask such a dumb question, no matter how many years of non-experience you have. So I'm like, and so the attending said it professionally. He was like, no, I don't think you want to leave it there because it can cause some hemorrhaging. She can bleed out or something. And I look at my husband like, and then they took it out. And then my husband was like, he told the attending, if the resident messes up, the attending has to do it. And the attending was like, okay. So they got a fucking, I don't know if it was flexible or curved, but the resident got one of those and put it in or whatever. He finally did something right. And I'm like, okay. And they asked how old I was. I think they gave me too much. They put it on a level 4. I'm 4'11". Why did I not feel because I was numb? Why did I not feel all the way up here? That's the C-section level. Why do I need numbness all up here? So the dude came back, like the actual attending, he used ice. He was like, can you feel this? I was like, yeah. Can you feel it now? I was like, no. What about now? Yes. Can you feel it now? No. So he was like, oh, it's a little high. I don't want you to be numb that high up. Let me turn this down a little bit. And then I'm like, bro, this can't be happening. This can't be happening. Like, why are these residents? So the attending turned it down. Turned the level down. And then, time for the catheter. Because this is another reason I tried to avoid the epidural. Because, like, I didn't want a catheter. I wanted to be able to get up and use the bathroom. But, I don't know if it was a nurse or another resident. She put the catheter in. I'm numb now. Tell me why I can feel it. And then it hurt. So she had to call for help. Oh, they also kept missing my vein for my IV, bro. They kept missing them. I specifically told them, you're going to have to use a butterfly needle. and said, no, we have to use this needle because it's an IV. I was like, okay. I knew that was gonna fuck up. So she put the needle in, blue. And she finally got the other doctor came in, had a smaller needle, the butterfly needle, and it worked. Like I totally dumb it. Oh my god. So back to the catheter. The black lady came in, black head nurse came in, and she was like, you probably have it in the wrong spot. And I look at my husband. So the black lady goes, the black head charge nurse goes in. She's like, oh yeah, it is in the wrong spot. And she moves goddamn balloon thingy on the catheter over. And I feel it go over. And I'm like, that feels better. She's like, oh, okay, it was just in the wrong spot. And in my head, I'm like, bro, these people done messed up my IV. These people done messed up my epidural. These people done put the catheter in the wrong spot. What the fuck is going on? Fast forward, this I knew they were full of shit. So the resident came in by himself, and he was like talking to me about the procedure and stuff and whatnot. So I asked him. I already knew the answer. I just want to be childish. So I asked him. I was like, so about birthing positions, is it okay for me to like do all fours or do it to the side because I have scoliosis and I don't want back labor? He was like, I don't know about the all fours, but maybe your side, and then, but first we can do the back labor and see how that goes, and if it doesn't work as smoothly, then we can go to the side. I looked at him like, okay. So he left or whatever. I fell asleep. No. He came back, and then remember when I said they had to break my water? So he said, I'm going to check on your cervix. And then when he checked, he was like, we can try to break the water now. I was like, okay. Mind you, I'm tired. I'm doped up because if y'all didn't know, epidural got fentanyl in it. And like, so yeah. So he tries to break my water, but he ended up going in the wrong way. I said, ow. Then my husband was like, nope, stop. Just stop. Go. Like, basically kick dude out. I told the midwife I don't want him delivering my baby.